evening, I'm Katie Haswell. This is London Tonight. First, latest developments in the story dominating the headlines tonight: the murder of the TV presenter Jill Dando, who was shot at her West London home. Our reporter Louise Bevan is at the scene in Fulham now. Louise, what can you tell us?
Well, dramatic developments tonight after a post-mortem examination showed that Jill Dando died from a brain injury caused by a single bullet wound to the head. It does seem increasingly likely tonight that this could be the work of a professional hitman, though Scotland Yard are refusing to comment on that theory. A single red rose captured the poignancy tonight of a neighbourhood shocked and saddened by Jill Dando's murder.
I watched it on telly last night, and thought, you know, what a lovely person and what a tragic way.
This evening, as forensic teams continued their painstaking work at the front of the presenter's house, where she was found dying on the doorstep, police revealed the cause of death as a single gunshot wound to the head. It confirmed at least one report by a neighbour earlier who thought she had heard gunfire.
I definitely did hear what I thought was a gunshot, but I cannot stipulate if it was a gunshot. I thought it was a car backfiring, approximately at that time.
As a presenter of the BBC's Crime Watch, Jill Dando helped police solve some of the country's most notorious crimes.
First tonight, a reconstruction of a truly sad and senseless crime in which
that she herself should become a victim of crime has compounded the shock among those who knew her. The local newspaper reporter who went on to local radio and television in her native West Country was always regarded as a star in the making. Today, among the press corps reporting her murder were other familiar BBC colleagues.
Not only was she well known, she was very well liked. Her screen persona and her public persona were one and the same thing, and so she was somebody who was very popular and somebody whose death has had a very great impact.
Police inquiries are now centred on tracing a man seen running away from the direction of the house in Fulham around the time of the shooting. The presenter's car was taken away for forensic examination late this afternoon. So far, the motive for the murder remains a mystery. Well, Scotland Yard refused to be drawn on any specific lines of inquiry, but it does seem tonight that Jill Dando's high-profile role presenting a national crime programme could be connected with her murder. Certainly the post-mortem result does suggest that a hitman could be responsible. So far, the weapon that he used hasn't been found. Back to you.
Louise, thank you. The Home Secretary, Jack Straw, has agreed to extend the opening hours of a police office in Brick Lane. It follows criticism from Bangladeshi community leaders that police failed to protect them from Saturday's nail bomb attack. Today, the East End was getting back to normal as market traders began to assess the damage. 6 people were injured in the blast, and police have drafted in extra officers to hunt for far-right extremists who are responsible. Meanwhile, other ethnic communities are bracing themselves for further attacks.
The ethnic community in Southall on alert as volunteers go on the streets to counter threats of a terror bomb.
Police in areas with high ethnic minority populations around Britain, including those in West London, have been put on the alert for further attacks.
Sunrise Radio broadcasting this morning to Southall's Asian community, warning that other areas could be targeted by neo-Nazi racists following the bombs in Brixton and Brick Lane. The station's news editor says the community remains defiant and won't give in to threats.
People are scared that Southall could be next, but Southall again has a very long history and a proud history of standing up for itself.
Police are stepping up their patrols on the streets of Southall, home to one of the biggest Asian communities in Britain. It follows news that 100 volunteers from anti-race groups will muster on the streets next weekend to protect the community, bringing light where there was darkness at the town's Hindu temple. Prayers are offered for peace. But the temple's elders don't think setting up vigilante groups will help calm the situation.
I think that these vigilante groups will not serve much purpose. They will rather make the situation more sensitive.
The Asian community has fought hard to make Southall its home, believing in the right to practice its religion and to live peacefully. Community leaders are appealing for calm, but fear is a difficult thing to stop from spreading as police reinforcements are brought in to keep the peace. This is Christopher Peacock for London Tonight.
The former London's Burning star, John Alford, appeared in court today on drugs charges. The 27-year-old actor from Hadley Wood in North London, seen here at an earlier appearance, denied supplying cocaine to an undercover reporter at the Savoy Hotel last year. The trial at Snaresbrook Cowan Court continues tomorrow. British Airways said that a crash alarm warning message played on a Heathrow-bound jet was probably a prank by a passenger. The aircraft was 3 hours into a flight from San Francisco when the pre-recorded alert said that it was about to crash into the sea. That's it from us. We're back in the morning. Until then, have a very good night. Bye-bye.
Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Good evening. Northeast winds are never a good idea this time of year. The North Sea is so cold, and we will have northeast winds through tonight and for much of tomorrow. Odd showers around, maybe overnight tonight, but most of the region will be dry. A cloudy start to the day tomorrow because of those northeast winds bringing cloud in from that direction. But every chance, I think, through the day, the clouds will begin to break up, especially from London and westward, some sunny spells through the afternoon, and that's going to give quite a wide range of temperatures. If you're on the coast in the east, down in Essex or Kent, 13 or 14 maybe the best you'll get. The further west you are, well, brighter skies and temperatures there up to around 15 or 16. 16, pleasant enough, up to around 61 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's generally dry and brighter the further west you go, and more the same, I think, on Wednesday.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada.